Hi everybody, welcome to Crafty and New. Let's get right into our Thanksgiving fall projects. So for our first project, you'll need a Hello Fall mason jar sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. I printed out a cute little printable off of my Cricut Design Space, some jute twine, pitberry, and this color wash tint that I purchased from Joann's, which I'll talk more about that in the video. Some leaves that I used my Cricut to cut out, and some paintbrushes. So first we're going to remove the tag and this burlap off of our mason jar sign. And be careful when you're removing this because we're actually going to reuse this. And it peeled right off for me. I didn't have any problems. I just had to take my time with it. Now once we have that peeled off, I'm going to use this color wash tint. And I love this stuff. It's a brown that has kind of like a sparkle to it. And you don't have to wipe it off. It soaks into the wood perfectly. But it's got like this sparkle to it that once it dries, it's real pretty. And it's this real pretty brown. Right now it doesn't look like it's going to dry like that. But it dries into a real pretty brown color. And I put 2 coats of that on here. And you can see how it dried down. It has just enough sparkle. And I don't know what it is about this stuff, but I love it. And I use it every chance I get. And then I'm just going to take some of my black paint and I'm just going to go around the edges of this. If you guys like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you around forever and ever. And yeah, leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know which one of these projects you like the best. And then I'm going to use some hot glue and I'm just going to reattach the burlap onto the sign. And once I have that attached, I'm going to take some Mod Podge and I'm going to cover the entire sign with it. And what this will do is it'll just help my Cricut vinyl to stick better to the sign, because it didn't really want to stick with the sparkle stuff in it that's in the paint. Now once the Mod Podge is dry, then I'm going to transfer my vinyl onto my sign. And it says, "Gather together, give thanks together." And I actually found this in Cricut Design Space. Just type in Thanksgiving and it'll pop up. Now I'm just going to put some hot glue on the back and I'm going to wrap my jute twine around the top. Once I have the jute twine wrapped around, I'm just going to hot glue it so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to attach the pitberry, and we're just going to wrap the pitberry around the jute twine. And there's what we should have so far. And now we're just going to attach the pitberry. And I just glued that down there on the corners because it kept wanting to come up off the rim of the sign. Or the top of the jar, however you want to look at it. Then I take my leaf cutouts that I cut out on using my Cricut out of some cardstock. All you have to do is type in fall leaves and the pictures will come up in Cricut Design Space. Or you can just use a template and cut out your own leaves or stencils. Just gluing 3 leaves to the top of the sign. Then I'm taking some more of that pitberry. I'm not really making a bow, I just wanted something to hang down. And so I'm going to attach that to the top. And then I'm making one of my jute twine bows. You can see here how I do that. And once I have that made, I'm just going to glue it to the center there to kind of hide the hot glue that we used for the leaves and the pit bearing. And then we're going to take the other leaves that we cut out, and I'm just going to glue those to my sign. And now I'm just going to make a hanger so that I can hang this on the wall. And I'm just using some jute twine for this, and I'm just going to hot glue that down. And I just cut out a small piece of craft paper, and I'm just going to cover the back because I like my projects finished. And once I have that glued down, I'm just going to trim off the excess, and this project will be complete. And I just think this turned out so cute, and you can see how the color wash, it just adds a little bit of sparkle but not too much, and I love the color. So for our next project, you're going to need some beads. You're going to need 12 blocks. I'm using some rub-on transfers, and I'm also using some Java, some antique white, and antique wax paint. And first I thought, well, I'll try to be smart and just try to paint all the top of the blocks at once. But yeah, it worked to a point, and then I had to individually paint each block. And then I take my beads and I use my fast bead painting technique, which I'll have in the card up above. And we're going to give these a good shake to get each bead coated, and we're going to let those dry. And I left this in real time so you could see that it does not take very long to paint these beads using this technique. And after we shake them, we just dump them out on a paper towel. We blot them a little bit, and we set those aside to let dry. Next, we take all of our 12 blocks that we have painted with the antique white, and we're going to take our antique wax, and we're just going to kind of smear it on the edges of each block. And you want to do this on all sides of the block. At least I did. You don't have to do it on the bottom of the block, so it's not going to be seen. I'm just going to take some sandpaper and rub off all the harsh edges. And I'm doing this to all the sides. Then once we have all 12 blocks sanded, I'm going to take my rub-on transfers and I'm going to cut out the word Thanksgiving. Now if you don't have rub-on transfers, you could use stencils or you can freehand it on there. My freehand is awful, so that's why I'm using the rub-on transfers. And now I'm just trying to figure out which side I want the letters to be on, because that's the side that you're going to see. And then I just take each individual letter and I just rub them on the block. Then once we have all the letters on the blocks, I'm going to take this 5-gallon paint stir stick and I'm just going to glue these together using those brown beads that we painted, and I'm going to attach these to the stir stick so that these blocks will still be one piece and easy to move. and you're not really going to see the paint stir stick. Now you can completely skip this step, and you can completely skip the step by adding the beads and just have loose blocks. But I thought this way would be so much easier to move around whenever I clean or change out my decor. And you can see some paint on the beads because I tried this before, and I tried it without using the paint stir stick, and they all fell apart. So that's when I decided to glue them to the paint stir stick so that it would be easier to move. And there's what you should have, and that makes this project all complete and easy to move. And I think it looks so cute up here on my shelf. And what I had to do with the G is I had to add a couple extra popsicle sticks or craft sticks to the end to make it all fit. And I think this turned out so cute. I've been wanting a set of blocks. So for our next project, I'm using orange, brown, and yellow paint pens, some antique wax, some colored jute cord. I'm using 5 different types of scrapbook paper. Actually, I use 6 different types of scrapbook paper, I'm sorry. Paint stir stick. And then you need one of these wooden pieces out of the pack of 5 that Dollar Tree sells, the wooden planks. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my paint stir stick just a little more than the width of my wooden square. And I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife to cut off the paint stir stick. And I want the end that has the rounded part. And then I'm going to take a craft stick and I'm going to measure the length of my wood panel, because this is going to be my stand. And I'm just going to cut the rounded pieces off and cut that down. So this is what you should have. You should have 2 tower tumbling blocks. You should have the end of a paint stir stick, 1 wooden plank from the pack of 5 that the Dollar Tree sells, and then a craft stick with the rounded edges cut off. And now we're just going to take all of those wood pieces and we're going to use the antique brown and we're going to rub it on there and then wipe it off. And we're going to do this to all the wood pieces. Once we have everything in the antique wax, I'm just going to start measuring out the feathers to my turkey. And I made me a template, and now I'm going to measure out my craft sticks for the feathers. And this is what you should have when you're done. Now I'm going to lay the feathers of the turkey onto my scrapbook paper, and I'm going to trace over it twice. So each feather, I'm going to do 2 feathers per scrapbook paper. So you should have 12 total feathers. And then I'm just going to take my glue stick and cover the craft stick with glue and attach the scrapbook paper. then once the glue is dried, I'm just going to go through and cut off all the excess scrapbook paper. And now you should have 2 feathers per scrapbook paper. Now we're going to start assembling the turkey. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take the turkey head, apply some hot glue, and we're just going to attach it to the wood plank. Now I'm just arranging how I want all of the feathers to look. And I'm just going to put some hot glue on the paper side and glue it to the back. And then on my other one, I just marked the spot where I want to attach the hot glue. And as you can see right here, I put the hot glue on the wrong side, and I'm just now realizing this. So I flip it over and apply the hot glue to the right side. So the hot glue needs to go on the paper side against the wooden plank. And you're going to do this to all 12 pieces. Now I slowed it down here so you can see what I do when I get up to the top. Because I want these to be at kind of an angle. So I just kind of angle it a little bit. And there's what our turkey should be looking like so far. And now I'm just taking a little piece of the scrap wood that we cut off from our craft sticks, just a little rounded piece. And I'm just going to make a little turkey nose. And with this, all you have to do is just really use your scissors. And there's what I came up with. And I'm just going to attach it to my turkey using some hot glue. And I'm just using my orange paint pen and I'm going to color in the nose orange. I'm taking the orange jute twine and I'm just cutting me off a little piece because I'm going to attach it to the nose. You know, the turkey stuff that comes down, the gobblers I call them. So I'm just attaching the gobblers, I don't know what the actual term is, to the turkey nose, which I should have done this before I hot glued it down because I ended up having to take the nose off and then hot glue it. And then I'm just making one of my twine bows. And I'm going to attach that to the turkey's neck underneath the nose with some hot glue. And now I'm taking a black paint pen I was going to use brown, but the brown wasn't showing up. So I switched to black, and I'm just drawing some eyes for my turkey. Now we're going to take that one craft stick that we measured the length of for the wood plank, and we're going to attach one of the tumbling tower blocks to it. And this is what's going to stand the turkey up. And then I'm just going to run a bead of hot glue right there on the edge of that. And we're going to take the other tumbling tower block and we're going to attach it, we're going to glue it lengthwise on the back of the turkey. You'll see here in just a second when I turn it around. So we're just going to run some hot glue on that. And I'm going to put it on top of the other tower tumbling block and kind of push it forward a little bit to make the turkey stand up straight. And there's what we should have. And this is our finished tier tray turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Hey, give me a big thumbs up if you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out the video that's popping up right now because you guys are going to love it. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.